And the topic of today's short subject is looks matter. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see in the thumbnail here, holding up this little board. And I suppose really now is what's that got to do with my profession as a personal trainer and sports massage therapist? Well, looks matter. What are looks? Looks are something, there's two ways of looking at it, no pun intended. That's how we see ourselves physically, and that's how somebody else sees us physically. So you look in the mirror in the morning, get out of bed and your hair's stuck up and you've got sleep in your eyes and your teeth need brushing. You ordinarily, if you look like I do, you look like a mess first thing in the morning. I probably do now, but it's midday or nearly. And of course, when you get yourself ready for work, get yourself ready to go out, your looks improve because you have your breakfast, brush your teeth, take a shower, put your favourite clothing on if you're going out for the day or night out, or you put your work uniform on. You essentially try to make yourself look better, at the very least to ourselves, okay? Man or woman, young or old, short, tall, fat, thin, rich, poor, black, white, doesn't matter. There's no one that I've met as a trainer that wants to look worse, that wakes up each morning and makes a conscious decision that they want their physical appearance to look worse today or tomorrow as opposed to yesterday. Nobody wants to get up and have poor skin and their skin's even worse the next day. It looks awful. Nobody wants to wake up and have their front teeth knocked out, so you've got a really bad aesthetic look. Okay, now what has that got to do with fitness? Same thing. Nobody wants to wake up and go to work, go for a dinner out with their friends, take the other half out for dinner, go on holiday and look really bad. Now, no one that I've met, that's not to say that it will never ever exist. There'll never be somebody that deliberately makes themselves look unhealthy and unfit. Now, when I say looks matter, I'm talking about if you've done your exercise, it's 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, whenever you're going to go. I trained at 9 o'clock this morning, and you've exercised, you've increased your heart rate, you've improved, you've broke a sweat, you've done your weight training, you've done your swimming, you've done your yoga, your Pilates, your combat sports, cycling, golf, indoors or outdoors. You've essentially increased your body's temperature, you've increased your blood flow, you've improved your cardiovascular fitness, your musculoskeletal strength. Now, you may look tired, hot and sweaty while you're training, maybe not even sweaty, but you may look tired, out of breath, almost, physically unattractive because you're in your gym kit, your hair's stuck up, you're training, you could be training outdoors. No one cares. No one cares when you're in the gym. They may do, but in my experience, no one cares. All right, so, and then you go home or you go to work or whatever, you take your shower, you have good healthy food, you put your nice clothes on, or at the very least, you get out of your gym kit and put your normal clothing on. You want to look better, When do we want to look better? Okay, classic example to our prospective girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands or wives, okay? We want to look better, okay? And it's hard to do that every single day, to actually look better each day to yourself or to your other half is a matter of opinion. But what's a matter of a fact is that if you do the things on a regular basis, good nutrition, good sleep, good levels of hydration, regular, moderate to intense exercise, light exercise if you're a beginner, but regular, moderate to intense if you're more advanced. Those things will surely help you look better. When you go for a job interview, if you are unhealthily overweight, we're talking, 3 stone or more, 42 pounds or more. If you're unhealthily overweight, you're not going to look good at the job interview. It doesn't matter how many qualifications you've passed. It doesn't matter if you turn up for the interview half an hour earlier. You're still 3 stone, 4 stone, 5 stone overweight. You're still 42 pounds, 58 pounds, 73, 74 pounds overweight. Even if the person interviewing you for the job is unhealthily overweight and looks poor, you're still going to look poor as well. And the person doing the interviewing will know that you look poor, you look unhealthy, you look unfit, you look unattractive because they do as well. They might give you the job because misery loves company, as they say. It's a very difficult, hard thing to admit, but smokers hang out with smokers. Drug addicts, generally, those on narcotics tend to hang out with those at narcotics. People with morbid obesity or obesity tend to hang out with people that are at the very least overweight, if not obese. Yeah. Sometimes by design, sometimes by just pure coincidence. Ordinarily, it's by the former. And I suspect that people that are unattractive. Now, bearing in mind, I'm on about from a physiological health point of view. Yeah. You might like someone with black hair, blonde hair, brunettes, redheads. Women might like men with shaved heads, bald heads. I'm not on about that. That's someone cutting or colouring their hair, or having a particular hair colour, or based on your ethnicity or your race. I'm not talking about that, because you could have somebody in Alaska, Alabama, all the way to, I don't know, somewhere in South America, Brazil. All different countries, different continents, different races, different religions, but they all want to look nice within their own physiological and ethnic background as well. There are zero benefits to looking bad or looking poor. When you're ill and you've got the flu, you've got a respiratory illness, you've got a life-threatening illness. Generally, we tend to look bad. I had the flu a year and a half ago, about a year and a quarter ago. It made me look like I was 20 years older. I was weak for about 3, 4, 5 weeks, physically weak, out of breath all the time. My skin went a really pale colour. Granted, it was in winter, but generally I've got, a olive skin throughout the year and brown skin in summer. But I tell you what, I went white as a ghost for at least 4 weeks when I had the flu. I was bedridden, and your body's full of antibiotics as well. You can't move properly. Even your hair. I went and got my hair cut when I started recovering from the flu, because even my hair looked like a real mess as well. You can't get the nutrients in your body in the way that you normally can do, as much as I tried. Yeah, I know that I looked really bad when I had the flu. All right, it didn't take someone else to tell me or convince me or write to me or email me. Yeah, I know. I can see in the mirror, And then over the space of time, 2, 3, 5, 6 weeks later, whenever it was, and I was exercising again, eating healthy food, the antibiotics are cleared out of my body, getting fresh air, working again, you start to look better. Your musculoskeletal appearance looks better. I was more upright. You stand taller. You sit prouder. Your skin's got some colour in it because you're full of blood and oxygen. All right, now, how do we improve our looks? Well, there's the obvious ones. Okay, this is what we do as men. Yeah, we go and get a haircut. If you're a man with long hair or some kind of flamboyant hairstyle, you still have to have it cut. Yeah, if like me, you have a short summer crop all throughout the year, my 13, 14 pounds worth, you get your hair cut, you keep your teeth clean, you cut your fingernails, your toenails. If you clean shave, you keep clean shaven. If you've got a beard, you keep your beard nice and trim. I tend to go for anything between a 2-day growth up to a week. I don't let it get much past that because it gets unruly. So I try and keep it clean and tidy. And that's actually for my own self-respect, as well as hopefully appearing at the very least groomed or well kept. Not movie star looks. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about looking after my body. Men, we should do our exercise. We should do our strength training, our cardiovascular training. Eat healthy. I eat 4 to 5 meals per day. 4 to 5. On a busy day, I can get 5 in. On a quiet day, I can get 5 meals in. On a really busy day, I have been known to eat only 3 meals a day, but generally it's 4 or 5 meals a day. I get regular food in. I'm a personal trainer of 6'4". I can burn those calories with my lifestyle, my exercise, and my long history of fitness training. But most men can't. So if you're that guy who's exercising and you still don't think you look better, go and spend 10, 20, 30 pounds on your haircut. Go to your dental hygienist and get them to look after your teeth. Exercise regular. Eat less calories, and the calories that you eat, make them healthy calories. Get your good quality sources of red meat, white meat, chicken, fish, beef, steak, vegetables, fruit. Drink plenty of water. I've had nearly 2 litres already today, and it's only midday on a Sunday. I've drunk nearly 2 litres of water already, and I've got another litre to go at least. Sleep as well. Your sleep hygiene is so important. That's a long subject as well. I tend to get 6 6 hours, sometimes 6.5 hours sleep a night. I'd love to be able to get 7 hours every night unbroken, but at 55, if it's not happening yet, it might not never happen. Maybe when I'm a bit older. But generally, try and identify something that could be a factor that is making you, as far as you're concerned, less attractive, less physically appealing. Yeah. If you're going on a date, guys, and you're going to date your date that you've met off one of the apps, don't date women from work. That'll just get you into a spot of bother you'll wish you'd never done. Okay, don't do it. I've never done it, and neither should you. All right, you've got a date, and it's your first date. It doesn't matter how many funny jokes you tell her. It doesn't matter how many cups of tea, coffee, if you've gone for a night out, wine, whatever it is she's drinking, you buy her. If you don't look good, yeah, and if you don't look good, if she's an attractive woman, well done, you've got to date an attractive woman when you yourself don't look good. You're not going to be able to hoodwink her after the initial date. You've turned up overweight, out of shape, double chin, baggy eyes, a bad haircut, bad breath, long fingernails. I actually used to train a gentleman years ago who had long fingernails. It was the strangest thing that I saw. A grown man, with long fingernails. And I didn't ask him, but I wonder why, deliberately growing his fingernails as long as a woman's. And I just thought, okay, if he was a rock star, or punk rock or a goth or something like that, I get it. But this guy wasn't, trust me. No way. I've trained a woman about 15, 16 years ago. She was a GP, a woman GP. It would have been maybe 16 years ago. She was unhealthily overweight. I think, if memory serves me right, she was about 18, 19 stone. And yet she was a doctor, a GP. And she had very bad personal hygiene as well. And this woman would have been on anything between 80 to 100,000 pounds salary, lived in a nice house, but she didn't think that her appearance, her physical appearance or her personal hygiene mattered. And this wasn't one, this was every day, every time I trained her. Strangest thing. But again, bless her, she was doing something about it by exercising. Looks matter. Looks matter in the dating world, in the employment world. Looks matter when you're walking down the street. If you're going shopping. If you're dressed really badly, really doesn't matter what the label is. No one really cares. You could be walking down the road, gents, in an Armani suit, and it might look nice. You might have, you might have looked after your health as well and be in good shape. Suit fits you well. The first person to care is you, and you may walk past someone. Woman might look at you and she might think, wow, he looks great in that suit. Even some men will look at other men in nice, smart suits and think, yeah, that suit looks good. I want to get one of those. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, looks matter. Anyone who tries to convince you or guide you or hoodwink you into looks don't matter, yeah, ordinarily that person who will convince you that looks don't matter, they themselves don't matter, their opinions. Whilst I won't say their opinions don't matter, I'd raise an eyebrow like I've just done. All right, now, 3 things. Let's just quick backtrack, full circle. 3 things to help you look better. Regular exercise, good levels of personal hygiene, yeah, and clothes that fit you. I've got some baggy clothes, but ordinarily they're the ones that I train in or I work out in. And when I say they're baggy, I don't mean they're falling off me. They're just loose fitting because I exercise. Generally loose fitting clothing. I wear compression leggings and body if it's winter sometimes, or if I'm training outdoors just to keep the muscles all tight and neat. But generally, coats and jackets wise, I might have a winter jacket that's loose fitting because I want to put lots of stuff underneath it. But ordinarily, you should wear clothes that fit you. Fit first, brand second, yeah? A tailor or an expert in clothing, of which I'm not, would say possibly material first. But generally, fit is first, then maybe material, and then of course, the brand. Remember, men and women, guys, we could be in an Armani suit, a Ralph Lauren suit, a Tom Ford suit. If you're fat and lazy and out of shape, that suit, you're not hoodwinking anyone. You're not even fooling yourself. You think you're fooling yourself by wearing fancy flamboyant clothing, bordering on the Emperor's New Clothes. Only the difference is you're wearing something, yeah? No one's fooled. I often see unhealthily overweight men with beer bellies, double chins, saggy back, big fat thighs like an overweight woman, You know, they've almost got a woman's appearance in their physicality, the way they're built. You know, if you took an overweight woman, and put the man's head on it, sometimes I see men dressed in shirt and tie and suits and what have you. They buff their shoes nice and clean. You know, they might have some aftershave on, I don't know, but I do see it. And yet they are clearly physically lazy, so they don't look good. Yeah. And yet the strangest thing is, it's not out of the question that if that's you, you still think you look good, even just because you've bought a new shirt. No, sorry, gents. Yeah. I go by my eye test, not by what someone tells me. I go by what I see. Yeah. And so should you. Women, there is no point women out there buying fancy flamboyant high heels. You know, those expensive heels and boots you can buy in these shops in London or New York or Paris or Tokyo. If you are unhealthily overweight, you don't look good. Yeah, you look unhealthily overweight in expensive shoes. Yeah, you're wasting your money. Spend your money on good, healthy food, on exercise. Get a trainer. You know, get a friend who exercises as well. Do something about it. Looks do matter. We've got varying body shapes, somatotypes, endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, and I've touched on a previous subject sometime last year or the year before, that nobody is 100% one somatotype or one body shape naturally. We've all got a main body shape with a slight threshold of another one. Okay, if you're tall and thin, you could still have a big belly. If you're short and wide and barrel shaped, you know, you could be quite muscular. If you're built like Arnie in his prime, someone who's predisposed to stack on lots of muscle just by looking at a dumbbell or looking at a piece of chicken, you know, lucky those guys. But ordinarily, they are not completely one body type. You should make the most out of your body type, yeah? I'm tall and thin, 6'4", 180 pounds in winter, maybe go down to about 177 in summer, yeah? And with a tall, thin body like mine, I've used it for sports, basketball, martial arts, swimming, cycling, climbing, whatever, and I've made the most out of it, but I've kept myself muscular and strong, you know, for sports, for health and for longevity. Yeah, in that order. For sports first, as I was younger, now it's for health and longevity. So, and I think to myself, okay, right, well, I'm wearing this long sleeve t-shirt, probably cost me, I don't know, 10, 12 pound. This cap I got for Christmas as a gift, I think it was 13, 14 pound. Yeah, when I go to walk down into the city today and go and buy my cup of coffee and do my emails, I'm going to wear a pair of boots that I've kept clean, winter boots, walking boots. I think they're about 50, 60 quid, about 15 years ago. But I've looked after them and kept them clean. Yeah, and whilst I don't think I look good, at the very least I look efficient. I look smart. You know, I'm not in a designer suit. I'm not in some flamboyant, you know, designer brand or garish clothing. I won't be wearing this when I walk into town anyhow. Looks matter. Yeah, guys, girls, men, women. Yeah, look after your looks. Yeah, we've only got one body. Yeah, it's going to be not with us for a long time. We are not going to be with our bodies for hundreds of thousands of years. Once you're gone, you're gone. Yeah, you may have a religion, you may have a belief, thinking, okay, well, not me. You know, I believe in whatever. Well, that's fine. Okay, I've got time for people that have got faith and religion. But remember, I'm trained in anatomy and physiology. We are made from matter: bone, skin, muscle, ligament, tendon, fluid, blood. Whatever you want to call it. Everything's made at a cellular level from matter. And once you're gone, it doesn't matter. So, full circle, looks do matter. My name's Tristan Lowe. I'm a professional personal trainer. Feel free to comment on this. Some people might not like hearing this, right? If you watched it till the end, you may have at least a smidgen or a little bit of interest in the subject itself. So, following the channel's Health No Filter, I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. Until the next one, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, stay healthy, look after your looks. Bye for now.